I recognize that the privilege is not mine, but I've been asked by the White House to... Congressman, I'd be happy to answer your question, or you can just have a conversation by yourself. But if you'd like to ask me a question, I'll be happy to answer.
I'm going to continue. The reason is
well, then don't ask me a question if you don't want to hear my answer.
My time. This is a House judiciary, not a House party.
Ooh, it's not a House party.
So if you ask me a question, give me the opportunity to answer your question.
The very campaign the special counsel is investigating. I'd like my time restored, please, of his interruption. He called you in to do his dirty work in secret because he knew it was wrong. Well, we will expose the truth. The president cannot hide behind you any longer. And you should be here to be telling the truth, Lewandowski, because the truth will set you free and the American people. I yield back.
The time of the gentlelady has expired. The witness may answer the question.
I don't believe there was a question, Congressman.
Very well.
Yes, there was.
Could you repeat the question? I didn't hear it.
I'll be happy to repeat the question.
It's just a rant.
Can't repeat the question.
I'll be happy to repeat the question.
The gentlelady's time has expired. The gentleman from...
Did you know the Attorney General had recused?
I'll begin by recognizing myself for 5 minutes. Ms.
I try to recognize myself for 5 minutes every day. Good.
Lewandowski, is it correct that as reported in the Mueller report on June 19, 2017, you met alone in the Oval Office with the President? I said,
is there a book and page number you can reference me to, please? I don't have a copy of the report in front of me.
Volume 2, page 90. But I simply ask you, is it correct that as reported in the Mueller report on June 19, 2017, you met alone in the Oval Office with the President?
Could you read the exact language of the report, sir? I don't have it available to me.
I don't think I need to do that, and I have limited time. Did you meet alone with the President on that date?
Congressman, I'd like you to refresh my memory by providing a copy of the report so I can follow along.
You don't have a copy with you?
I don't have a copy of the report.
Okay, so this isn't all that ridiculous. One, Nadler obviously should have read whatever it is that he's quoting. First off. Secondly, I don't know that it actually says this in the report. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It seems as though Lewandowski's trying to catch Nadler on something. Like there must be some sort of discrepancy here that he's trying to catch Nadler on. And so right now this doesn't seem all that ridiculous from Lewandowski's
Congressman
side.
Mr. Chairman, I request that the clock be stopped while this charade is sorted out.
I'm sorry, Congressman, what page was it?
The clock should have been stopped and should remain stopped. Page 90, volume 2.
Okay, and which paragraph, sir?
I don't have it in front of me.
I'd like a reference, sir, so I can follow along on what they're asking.
Do you not have an independent recollection of whether you met with the President on that date?
That wasn't the question. The question is whether or not the Mueller report says he met with the President on that date. It's not whether or not he met with the President. It's whether or not the Mueller report says he met with the President. That was the initial question. He's saying, I don't know if the Mueller report says that.
Congressman, I'm just trying to find in the Mueller report where it states that.
Well, you have it in front of you. I gave you the page number.
Okay, where on page 90 is it, sir?
Mr. Chairman, you got to start the clock.
No, I don't have to start the clock when he's filibustering. Bottom of page 90.
Well, filibustering is a different issue. That's across the hall in the Senate. This is actual questions being done now.
Mr. Chairman, point of parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman.
That's not
the gentleman will state his point of parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Chairman, is it a...
He said gentleman will state his point of parliamentary inquiry.
Appropriate for a witness to refuse to answer a question and instead...
That's a woman, right? I don't see who's talking. That's a woman, right?
Demand that we reference and point him to the... I'd ask that that Mueller report be closed and the witness be directed to answer the question.
No, well, the answer is not appropriate.
That's a guy.
But it's on the bottom 2 lines of that page.
Now it can start. The clock can start now. There's a question.
Point of order. When will the clock start, Mr. Chairman?
Once the question's asked, Mr. Chairman, the clock should start.
Right under overview, 2nd line.
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman.
The gentleman, the witness.
Point of order.
The witness has the time and will
answer.
Point of
order is a
question. The witness
will answer
answer
overrides that. A point of order overrides that, Mr. Chairman, and you know that.
The gentleman will state his point of order.
Point of order is once the question has been asked in reference properly to the witness, to answer the question, the clock should start. It cannot be held while you and your counsel go over notes.
The gentleman is correct. The clock will start. And the witness will answer the question without further delay.
Yes, I see that in the report.
Thank you.
Oh, it was in the report the whole time? What? All of that time?
Did he ever discuss with you any concerns that he may have committed a criminal offense?
The White House has directed not to disclose the substance of any discussions with the president or his advisors to protect executive branch confidentiality.
All right,
I recognize this is not my privilege.
Mr. Chairman, I make a point of order. Pursuant to
Are you kidding me? Another point of order. We are 4 minutes into this thing. We've already had 3 points of order and a couple of parliamentary something.
Clause 2J, 2A of Rule 111, that the gentleman is out of order. He has exceeded the time limit under the 5-minute rule.
I will enforce the time limit under the 5-minute rule.
I challenge the rule.
Oh, that's kind of messed up. He's like, hey, I make the rules. I can say when I stop. I don't care what the rules state. I'm the one who enforces the rules, so I'll say when I'm done. That's messed up.
I
challenge the ruling of the chair.
The ruling of the chair is challenged. All those in favor of overriding the rule of the chair will say aye. Opposed, no?
No.
No.
Roll call.
Those have it. Roll call is asked. The clerk will call. Where's the clerk?
No, we can make this a lot easier, Judge. We can. I mean, this.
The clerk will call the roll.
Yes. Mr. Nadler?
Question is, will he?
Everybody's laughing. You can hear them laughing.
Yes. Mr. Nadler?
Question is, will the ruling? The question is, will the ruling of the chair be overruled? My vote is no.
Mr. Nadler
This is
votes
ridiculous.
no. Ms. Lofgren? Ms. Jackson Lee? Ms. Jackson Lee votes no. Mr.
These are a bunch of grown-ups. Are you kidding me? This is what our government's doing.
These dancing.
Mr. Chairman, there are 13 ayes and 19 noes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman. Point of order. Mr. Chairman, since the chairman has refused.
Gentleman is not recognized.
I will be.
The
I will be.
point of order is sustained.
Mr. Chairman.
I am very troubled that the White House counsel sitting behind you are preventing you from answering these very basic questions that go to the heart of the president's conduct we are investigating.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion. Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
You will wait for your motion until I finish this.
Point of order, then.
Not only
Point of order has got to be recognized.
Not in the middle of,
Yes, it does. The motion is to, since the chairman is not following the House rules, I move to adjourn.
motion is to adjourn. A motion
Point of parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman.
motion to adjourn.
Point of parliamentary. If the Republicans on this committee are successful in this motion to adjourn, does that mean there will be no hearing and the American people will not hear from Mr. Lewandowski about his efforts to obstruct justice?
Yes, that's exactly what it means.
Okay, that's what I want.
It also could read, they could read the 3 times it's
Motion.
previously already done it.
I have a point of parliamentary inquiry.
The motion is not debatable. As many as are in favor of the motion to adjourn.
I have a motion of parliamentary
As
inquiry.
many are in favor.
So Mr. Cicilline gets recognized for his
Motion
inquiry,
is
but I don't
not
get recognized.
debatable. As many as are in favor of the motion to adjourn say aye.
This is truly embarrassing. Like, this is hard to watch. Oh, I have a point of order. Point of order. Oh, no, I have a point of order. No, I have a parliamentary point of order. I have a double dog point of order. No take backsies. No double take backsies, double dogs.
Opposed, no? In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. Roll call is requested.
Dude, you cannot do another roll call. They just did this. You know, the same exact people who voted the first time are going to vote exactly the same way the second time. You lost already once. Don't waste more time with roll call. It seems as though the Republicans don't want this guy to actually answer these questions. So they're trying to waste as much time as possible. That's why they're very worried about whether or not the clock is running while Nadler's asking his questions because they don't want him to get to any important questions for the guy to have to avoid answering.
The question is on the motion to adjourn. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Nadler?
No.
Mr. Nadler votes no. Ms. Lofgren? Ms. Jackson-Lee? Ms. Jackson-Lee votes no. Mr. Cohen? Mr. Chairman, there are 12 ayes and 19 noes.
The motion to adjourn is not adopted. Georgia, for his questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This past few minutes was totally avoidable and also very frustrating in the sense that it is also now raised from our perspective the question of the privileges of the rules of the House, which could be discussed on the floor and probably will be, and possibly just the blatant running over of House rules. My concern is ethics violations as well. This has got to be run in a different way. It's okay to try and get your stuff out. It's okay to be frustrated, but it's also not okay to overrun House rules. The 5-minute rule is a House rule. It's not a committee rule, and it's not for interpretation by the chairman, whatever he feels like. It wouldn't be if I was the chairman or you're the chairman. That's not debatable. And you may not have got your last question in, but we've already discussed, and we're going to have a lot more discussion here in a little while on staff questioning, but there's plenty of time to get that last little question that you didn't get asked to somebody else.
He pretty much just reiterated what he's already said. There's rules, and they've been broken, and it's 5 minutes. And we're going to talk about this later, but you went over the 5 minutes, and you can't do that, and I don't like that you did that, and we're actually going to end up talking about this later. But there's rules, and we're going to end up talking about this later.
But is it worth breaking the House rules? And I know some in the audience don't care, and some of the majority don't care. But at the end of the day, you're accusing a president of very high issues.
Also known as crimes.
That we got to look at. You're accusing him and dragging it through in this committee for 8 months. We're doing this. So I think following procedures is something that you actually have to look at because your idea is not really.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
If your president followed procedures and rules in the first place, just saying.
Time has expired.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Lewandowski, you are about like a fish being cleaned with a spoon. It's very hard to get an answer out of you.
Wait, what? What does that mean? You're like a fish being cleaned with a spoon. It's hard to get an answer out of you. I don't know what that means.
You felt kind of squeamish, like that fish that you are trying to be right now, being scaled. You felt a little squeamish about delivering that message, correct?
No, sir.
Well, why did it take you so long and you never even delivered it?
Correct. I never delivered the message.
Yeah, you chickened out.
I went on vacation.
You went on vacation. And so you put the message in the safe, in your home for safekeeping, correct? Before you went on vacation.
I took my kids to the beach, Congressman. That was more of a priority.
And President Trump was hounding you about.
And when you went to the beach, did you swim like a fish? Like you're being squeamish right now, like a fish with a spoon that's clean.
When are you going to deliver that message, correct?
Completely inaccurate, Congressman.
Well, he asked you about it a few times, didn't he?
No, he did not.
Have you ever put any words that the president asked you to write down before in a safe? Or was this the first time you'd done that?
I believe it's my standard operating procedure when taking notes, Congressman.
You believe it's your standard operating procedure? You believe it's your standard operating procedure. It's your operating procedure. You believe it is. You're not sure what your own operating procedure is? What?
So every note that you take of the president, you put in a safe? How big's that safe?
It's a big safe, Congressman. There's a lot of guns in there.
That's so frustrating how Republicans try to troll liberals talking about guns as if that's going to do anything. Like as if their heads are going to explode because you said the word guns?
On January 2019, on the Chris Matthews show, a member of this committee was asked, do you believe the president right now has been an agent of the Russians?
That was me.
That member said, yes. Chris Matthews followed up and said, an agent like in the 1940s working for a foreign power? That individual responded, he's working on behalf of the Russians, yes.
Still believe that.
And, you know, Mr. Chairman,
The gentleman from
Arizona's got the time.
Arizona has the time.
I'd like 10 seconds added back on. He's
You have
going to
10
interrupt.
seconds in any event.
Do you believe that Vladimir Putin is sitting in his office right now in the Kremlin, laughing at what those on the other side of the aisle are doing, and believing that those on the other side of the aisle are useful idiots helping?
And what do you think Vladimir Putin is wearing while doing it?
Objection. I have a point of order.
And the lady will state her point of order.
These points of orders are seriously ridiculous. You know what this reminds me of?
Guys, first of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Okay, is there a speaker against name, chapter, pronoun?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Okay.
And generally, try to be chill, right? Take a deep breath.
It's helping.
Objection. I have a point of order.
And the lady will state her point of order.
I have a point of order. According to the rules, and the rules of this committee and the House rules, we cannot attribute derogatory names to our colleagues or motives to our colleagues. And I believe the gentleman said those on the other side of the aisle are idiots. This is a very sacred and somber responsibility. I've taken an oath of office, my good friend, just like you did. I am concerned about the Constitution just as you are, and I would not engage in any behavior that could be described as idiot. Never in my life or my
idiotic.
My colleagues have we ever discussed behaving like idiots.
I mean, actually, I didn't call anybody an idiot. I said useful idiot. And secondly, I asked the witness whether he believed that as part of Vladimir Putin's strategy, Vladimir Putin was being aided by useful idiots in America.
We as a nation would be better served if elected officials like yourself concentrated your efforts to combat the true crises facing our country, as opposed to going down rabbit holes like this hearing. Instead of focusing on petty and personal politics, the committee focused on solving the challenges of this generation. Imagine how many people we could help, or how many lives we could save.
This guy's not being helpful. He's not helping. He's making things more difficult by not answering questions. It's hard to believe that this is what we elect people to do. It is really hard to believe that we elect people to sit around doing this. Hey, congratulations. You made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed, you can catch us on a lot of other platforms. Start off by going to the YouTube channel, Tomfoolery Podcast. We need subscribers, so go over and subscribe. We've got lots of videos for you to watch. When you go in, there's full long-form podcasts and episodes. And then there's also 5, 10, and 15-minute clips for you to watch under videos and clips. Or you can go to the Facebook page, watch live broadcasts, watch some other clips and videos, join in on some polls, get some cool posts and memes. Or you can go and listen to the podcast on numerous platforms: Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and many more. But I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you there.